Going on here. Let me make sure everything is up to par. And it is. Oh, man. Welcome to another episode of the Owner's Box. USFL. Let me start off right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good day, no matter where you are located. Welcome again to another episode of the Owner's Box. I feel like I had to do the right introduction to this episode, man. Episode 8. I like to call this episode The Big Cheese. This episode is interesting because Paya, the Packers owner, he's as we spoke in the last episode, he's like the blob, or he's the guy where you feel your energy to him and it just grows and it grows. And he said some things today in the chat that kind of inspired this episode where you saying he was going to the Super Bowl. And I think that I find that funny, and a couple other NFC owners find that funny because the guy's only made one appearance to the Super Bowl. And I think that at this point in the season, the way that the season's going, I think it's now time for coaches to put up or shut up on the field, man. It's getting crunch time deep into the season. A couple upsets this week. I know that the Seahawks lost, which was surprising to the new 49ers owners. Me and him spoke about it. He spoke that the aggressive catch is real. He was a victim of that. Shout out to the 49ers for, using that, and he couldn't stop it. Some of the interesting things on the AFC side of the ball, Chiefs blew out his opponent, which I wasn't expecting that. I think it's going to be very, very challenging for people like Paya, even myself, to play at the level of consistency and things like that. But for him, he hasn't played that level of consistency throughout his career in the league. I invited him to be a guest on the show, and he has not responded to that ever since I put that up. He has not even replied to that. He did say he was going to do some winner refund, but we know how he is. He's all, for me, I think he's a lot of barking nobody. Here was his opportunity for him to tell us his grand scheme of things and his plan to get to the Super Bowl, and he has not to show. So, Pi, I know you're watching, I know you're listening. I'm not hard to reach out to. You can reach me out to the chat. I'll send you an invite right now. As myself, I want to hear it. Seahawks want to hear it. The Redskins all want to hear it. Pats, Jets, Chargers, Raiders. We all want to hear this grand scheme of how to get to the Super Bowl. On another note, I see that Dolph is back. Unfortunately, Dolph came back. I mean, he came back from suspension. Good, welcome him back. But it seems like his first opponent back was the Jets. Dolph, I would have skipped that week personally myself. I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna come back, but I don't know if I'm gonna come back against the Jets because again, Cletus is on a tear. I like to welcome the new Eagles owner to the league. Don't know who you are, good brother. Welcome to the league. Just know that we are super competitive, but it's all fun. There will be trash talk, but again, it's all fun. It's just to motivate. It's not to discourage and things like that. You see myself, I'm on a wintry grind here. It's cold outside. It's cold in Atlanta. Luck's seems like he's been out of luck lately. He's been throwing some pick sixes. He did win over the Rams. Score says it makes it look like it was a close game, but it wasn't. Shout out to the Rams. He did try to crawl back and fight back into it, but it was just a little too late. Just fine tuning some things here on my side, switching up my scheme, especially going into the playoffs. I feel like people are in spaces that they normally weren't in, and now that watching streams and things like that. Spygate, Spygate. Just switching some things up, man. I had to sit down with Andrew Luck. I had to tell him, get it together. It's looking real. People don't even fear us no more. They're blitzing heavy. I think my offensive line is slowly but surely crashing down, getting old. A couple of them guys getting old. But I'll fine tune that myself. I think the Redskins are playing good football still. Saints are definitely still playing some amazing football. I think he's on a 5-game win streak. Shout out to him. Finally getting that respect on your name. I mean, you lost to me, but you bounced right back and won the game. I think you're 8-3. You're definitely a sleeper in that regards. Nobody picked you to be that. And I'm glad you took that motivation to elevate your game and stay 8-3. I see the Bengals got a nice win. Talked to Willie the other day. That's his name. and just about how he lost his last game and switching some things up, and he's doing that and applied that, and he's also just won his game. I know the game of the week is going to be very, very interesting. It's two teams, both 9-1. Could be an easily preview to the Super Bowl with the Pats and the Jets. I mean, the Pats and the Redskins. I think my keys to victory, I'm going to go with the Redskins based on user skills. I know we talked about skills versus scheme. I haven't looked at the Pats to see if he has a scheme, but I have watched him to see if he's winning games, and he's doing that. I know Redskins. He has just a run and shoot style offense. Really shoot first, ask questions last with the deep ball. I think, Strawn, if you're winning, you're listening, the keys to victory for you are to stop the deep ball and crowd the box, 8 in the box. You have to respect this run game because the running backs are still running over people, but you also have to not press him and play the deep ball. Will, for you, your keys to victory, bro, is just be yourself. Strawn is 9-1 this season. Just remember, he's only 9-1 this season. This is his good year. He's still the same player that he was. He's just having a great year. That's no disrespect to you, Strawn. That's just me being honest with Will and a guy who plays consistently, where you're just having a great year. So don't get caught up in the 9-1 record and caught up in, all the moves and stuff you made. You're still who you are. You are who you were before you came here, to quote Hove on that line. You were who you were before you got here. So he has a 9-1, but you're still the same guy who made it 7-9. I would treat Strawn with some respect, but also look at him like, dude, you're still 7 and you're still at 7 in whatever team or that 4 whatever team last year until you start winning, until you actually start winning in that game, then I would then turn it up on you and treat you as such. So stick, again, keys to victory, Strawn, for you. Stop the deep ball, crowd the box. Will, just play your game. Just play your game. Consistently play your game. Force him to make bad decisions, and force him to your user. That's what I would do. Let's talk about the playoff picture here. Because there's some interesting things. There's still some slots available for the NFC. Even though the Seahawks are 6-4-1 with the tie, I think they're in 4th place. They have myself at 3rd at 9-2, but the 6th slot is still open for the teams like the Lions. Even the Giants could tie. Shout out to you. You've been turning it around. I think you're like 4-6 now, and everybody else is like 5-6. I think the Lions are 4-6, but everybody else is 5-6. I don't know if you guys have played your games yet. But if you both can win this game and be at 5-6, the last 4 slots are a tie, which is a dogfight between you, the Bears. I think the Bucks are there. Maybe the Bucks are also there. Let me check. I know the Lions are definitely could get that spot. You guys could really make disrupt some things and grab that spot. I would encourage you guys to take advantage of that. It's going to be a great playoff year. And out. I really can't. Seahawks are struggling. In my opinion, they're struggling. I know the level of what he plays at, and he's not playing at that. I'm winning games, but I'm not blowing people out like I was. Pi is playing some good football. He has hella speed on his team, but I don't know if that's enough to go deep in the season when you've never gone deep in the season. I spoke on that earlier. Again, brother, you're not here and you start this episode here. You've been in the league 10 plus seasons here, and you've only made 1 Super Bowl appearance. But yet, I hear you saying that you're going to the Super Bowl. Statistically, that's not possible because you've been, let's say, 1-10. You have a 10% chance, and then the teams that you have to beat, you've tied with 1, squeezed past another one, and I beat you. It was only by 3, but again, I beat you, and your team is still the same besides Tyreek Hill. So it'll be interesting to see how you go deep here into the playoffs and how you move forward. I want to welcome back Cressy, the Vikings. He's 5-6, and he's currently into the 6th playoff spot. Even though you lost to the Chiefs, I still seen some things that were very, very interesting. I think once you pick the playbook that you want to run with, you'll make some more games. I think you got like 7 different creative playbooks. Just pick one, bro, and just go with that one, and then master that one, and then you'll definitely dominate. I'll see you in the NFC North next year if you can figure that out. Bears, you're 5-5. This is the time for you to turn it around. It has to be right now. You have to win at least 4 more of these games. You have to win at least 4 more of these games. Ty, you got to win out to make the playoffs, brother. You got to go 10-6. Worst case scenario, 9-7. I know, man. You play week 17. I think if you're gonna lose a game, I think that might be the game to lose. I would focus on winning the rest of them until that week 17. And the Lions, again, you're only 4-6. You're only a game behind everybody else. That 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 spot is definitely wide open if whoever wants it. On the AFC side of the ball, it's interesting to see that the Browns are now on the bubble. A team that started off very strong at like 4-1 or something like that, and now 6-4 and on the bubble. And then they're if you look at that, it's interesting. He's 5-4 against the conference. So against AFC opponents, he's barely 500. He's over one game over 500. That means a lot, in my opinion. That means a lot to me when looking at that, because if the wild card starts today, does he necessarily win that game? And he plays the Jags. I don't see him winning that game. The Chiefs are 7-4. Again, a team who was highly favored to win, like Super Bowl. We would have him right that 2 or 3, or possibly even going Super Bowl, is now currently out of the playoff spot at 7th seed. I think the Browns have now some tremendous pressure to win, because I know the Chiefs want that spot. You can't be consistent, be considered consistent, and then not win a playoff game. I mean, should not even make the playoffs, especially when people like myself, Pats, we all have you ranked so high. I mean, I think Tyreek Hill was a huge trade, and I think we're now seeing the impacts of that trade for your team. Shout out to Cletus. He's still on the tear. He's 9-2. He's at the 5th spot, and you would play the Ravens today had this playoff starts. And I think the Ravens have bounced back since that Browns loss. And I remember saying that even a couple of episodes earlier. I seen some things with the Ravens that was cool. He just couldn't stop the C route from the Browns. Had he could figure that out, he would have beat the Browns in that game. And shout out to him. He's playing some good, solid football. I think even if he won or lost, he's still fourth at 7-4. Continue to win, and I think you'll keep that 4th spot. Jumping Jags, man, you beat me. Shout out to you. See you in the Super Bowl, brother. That's all I can say. Keep doing your thing. I see you got another loss under your belt, but that's fine. Just keep playing your game, and you'll be fine. I have you highly favored in the AFC, because I know where your game is, and I know that you'll turn it up when you need to, and you'll go back to what's working. Shout out to the Raiders. He's 10-1. Maybe I've been sleeping on the wrong board, brother. I'm humbly admitting that right now. Maybe I should have went with you early on the season and not the Chiefs. Definitely playing some great football here. If the Pats can't get past the Redskins today, I see you taking number 1 spot, as they'll be moving 9-2, and you'll be 10-1. But what's definitely dope about the Pats being 9-1 and still number 1 seed, he's only 8-1 against the conference, along with the Raiders. So with that being said, again, we're looking at head-to-head matchups in the conference. I could see that the Raiders and Pats going to the AFC championship based on that. Flipping over to the NFC side of the ball, I'm undefeated against the conference, and Will is 7-1 against the conference. So just statistically and analytically, how things are determined, that will highly favor us, as the Pats are 6-1-1. That tie kind of hurts him. And we'll see how that tie plays out the rest of the season for him and the Seahawks. I mean, normally they, I think they don't even count it as almost like a no contest. So almost like having 2 bye weeks. So it doesn't really penalize you until you guys have the same record, and then some other things playing that as a factor. Chargers is, I find interesting. You're 6-5, bro, and again, you've been playing some solid football. You are currently in 9th, but you have a better record than the Titans, who are at 8th. And I really think, bro, if you can push it, you can make a push, you can really make it to the playoffs. I think that would be a shock if you're going to make it and then the Browns don't, and then if you make it and the Browns and Chiefs don't. I would find that really interesting. I think you could be a sleeper in the playoffs, depending on how the matchups line up. I don't think you would go – for that to happen, you would have to actually match. I think your best matchup would be against the Ravens. I think it'd be too tough for you to go against the Jags and too tough for you to go against Cletus that early on in the playoffs. Cressy, if me and playoff started today, me and you lock up in a wild card, and then Seahawks and the Saints. Seahawks and the Saints would be dope. I think Saints beat Seahawks earlier this year, so I know Boone would love to get that rematch back. Myself and Cressy, I mean, I know your skills. You beat me last year in the Super Bowl. That was last year. I would still treat you as the user guy that I know you are and that it could be. And I wouldn't take you lightly. But I mean, again, with all the teams being 5-6, 5-5, and 4-6, I mean that wild card spot is definitely open. So to all the guys in the NFC, the Rams, Bears, Giants, and Lions, I say it's all on you for that last spot. So like the title of this episode is called "Who is the Big Cheese?" And that's my question to the guys in the league in the chat, the owners, all the owners. Who do you consider the big cheese, and what does that mean necessarily? I mean, I know if Ty was here, we would all say ourselves are the big cheese, but who are the toughest matchups on both sides of the ball? What factors play in that role? I know when I look at different teams and my different opponents, for me, it's who does this person have a scheme, and then this person, what are their user skills? What are their user abilities? I'm noticing a lot of guys now are currently using, well, not a lot of guys, but I'm noticing some guys are using the defensive alignment on defense, and it's so tough for you to be a factor on defense and to win games like that because you're almost allowing good users or good people with skills to play the computer at that point. You're so out of the game because that person could just max block. ID the mic is you as the user player, and also block the tight end, block a running back, and shift to that side. So doing that, you are not the same factor as you would be if you were a linebacker or a safety. So I highly recommend hitting the lab and trying to perfect your user skills to increase your chances of winning. Because again, I played the Rams, and he was kind of trying to switch between the defensive lineman and the linebacker, but I knew that he wasn't normally used to playing linebacker because I was throwing directly at his user just to test to see if he can make the play, and he couldn't. So definitely keep those things in mind. Again, I watched a couple games, and again, even myself, I always think reading is fundamental, man. Reading is fundamental, and what I mean by that is making the right reads. I threw a pick six. I was so laser focused on this one route because I thought it was just a cool route, and he wasn't even open. And Richard Sherman picked it and took it to the house, knowing that I shouldn't have did that. I should have made the better read. Playing the Saints last week, we talked about it, and he clearly knew that I was baiting him, and he still threw it to the bait, to the point where I baited him and I picked it, and I did it twice to him, once in the end zone and once earlier on a drive where he could have made the game actually very close. And we talked about that. He was like, man, if I just made the better read, I just made the better read. Again, reading is fundamental, man. I recommend also going back. I do it all the time, whether I win or lose. I go back and I watch only my offensive drives. I just making sure I made the right read, especially when I take sacks and things like that. Why did I take this sack? Why did I overthrow this? Who was really open? When I throw interceptions, damn, did I force it? Did I not force it? Things like that. And then I flip it on the defensive side. How are people scoring on me? Like the Rams he scored me twice throwing slants, like simple slant plays. And I just over pursued it, anticipating the slant too early, things like that. And that just allows me to perfect my game and just help me get better. So again, to me, reading is fundamental. I know it sounds stupid, it's so cliche-ish, but it's funny that we're talking about that here in Madden, and things like that. Trying to think anything else that's happened so far in the league. Let me look here back on. Let's talk power rankings here, real quick into the. Also, real quick, let's talk about players of the week. Julio Jones, 9 catches, 254 yards, 3 touchdowns. Wow, that's sick. I didn't even notice that until just now. And then Javon Clowney, 3 tackles, 3 sacks, 2 forced fumbles. Texans, bro, if you're watching, I'm telling you, Clowney is a problem. I don't know who else faces the Texans, but please block Clowney. Always put the running back on his side because he is a terror. He's a terror. Power rankings, according to Daddy leagues, we have Rams at 1, Redskins at 2, Raiders at 3, Packers at 4, Jags at 5, myself at 6, Cletus at 7, 8 is the Saints, 9 is Ravens, 10 is Seahawks, and I think they're pretty spot on with that. I'm comfortable saying that's pretty good. All them teams that are playing exceptionally well right now and deserve to be in them top 10 spots. Bill, I know it's time for you to put your head down and win some games, brother. I know we talked about that. 5-5. And they got the Browns this week again. Let me know. You know, looking forward to seeing you do that, man. You were a great guest here on the show. I need you to win some games. Moondog. Got the Eagles, the new owner. You got to win this one, brother. You got to win this one. I'm still cheering for you. You got to win this one. Man, Detroit and Cleveland would be a good game. I'm interested to see how that game plays out. Because again, both of them spots are fighting. Both of them teams are fighting for the wild card spot. Bears just run your game through Matt Ryan, and the Lions just do whatever you got to do to win these games, man. So you can be a factor. I know you said you wanted to be a factor. I just want to run through some of these leaders here. Andrew Luck is leading the league in passing yards or passing leaders. Deion Lewis is leading in rushing. We have Julio Jones leading in receiving yards. Pick leaders, we have teams who are throwing the picks. We have Wet Night, Carter Wet Night. That's an interesting name right there. Good job on that, EA. And on the defensive side of the ball, we have Navarro Bowman leading in tackles. We have Wilkerson leading in sacks at 20. We have Earl Thomas is a monster right now, leading at 17. I think that got to be some type of record. 17 picks in a season. Eric Kendricks is 10 behind, so Earl Thomas is definitely going to win that. Win that race. Whew, man. A couple weeks to go. Very interested in seeing how this all plays out. I'm here if anybody has any questions for me right now live in the chat. We have Circle the Pats versus Jets. What week is that? I wonder what game. Let's see what week is that. Pats and Jets week. And who plays, who predicts that? Is that week 13? I think is that next week? Do they play? Let's see here. Yes, next week. Ooh, game of the week is next week. That's our game of the week. Pats and Jets is definitely a good game for next week. Who do I got? Let me just run through these week 13 picks, I guess, real quick. 49ers and Ravens. I'm going Ravens. Bears and Redskins, got to go Skins. Bengals and Steelers. Bengals. Yeah, I'm going Bengals. Sorry, Bill, I'm going Bengals. Chiefs and Broncos. I would have went Broncos with Docky 2-9. You want to get it together, brother list. Going Chiefs. Browns and Cards. I'm going Browns. Myself and the Bucks. Has anybody seen the Bucks, man? I'm about to put out, the old school milk carton box joints where they used to have MIA or have you seen or missing. The Bucks owner is missing, man. I mean, he's playing his games, but the guy who he was last season, he's definitely not that guy this season. I don't know what's going on in Tampa Bay. I know they had the hurricane not too long ago. Maybe they're still recovering from that or something. But man, to go playoffs to now 3-7, man, you really had to lose any pieces. One has to wonder. Is it Winston? Is it the coach? Is it the staff? Is it too hot? Too hot in Tampa Bay? Like, what's going on down there? Hopefully you don't get it together on week 13. But I'm just saying, what's up with you? I had you at a strong second for the division. And now you're like almost last, brother. You got to get it together. Going myself. We got Dolphins and the Bills. I'm going to go with Dolph. He said he wanted to get better. He had a hard week against the Jets. I think this is the game he can definitely go 5-7. Eagles and Rams are going Rams. Giants and Seahawks. Ty won some games, but I think his defense is still bad, and we don't know what kind of quarterback is going to show up. And I don't think he can stop the run that good. So knowing that, I'm going with the Seahawks. Jacksonville and Saints. Both 8-3 next week. Both 8-3. I'm going Jacksonville. Sorry, Saints. He beat me. He spanked me 47-6, 46-7. I'm going with Jacksonville. I think his defense and his offense is a little too much for you to handle in New Orleans. Lions and Packers. If Lions can win this game coming up against the Bears, then I'll take you I can't take you as a favorite over the Packers. I can't do it. I'm going with the Packers. Jets and Patriots, I'll come back to that, and I'll give them keys victories. And then we got Raiders and the Chargers. Franco, this is the game you need to win. You have to beat the Raiders, bro. To be taken seriously right now, you have to beat the Raiders. Win this game this week. I think you beat the Colts, right? So you have to win this game in week 13 against the Raiders to be taken seriously. For Pie to stop talking trash. And for people to really take you serious, like really take you seriously, gotta beat the Raiders. Titans, Texans, and Colts, I'm going Texans. Titans and Panthers, I'm going Titans. And Vikings and Cowboys, I'm going Vikings. And then let's go back to the game of the week. I'm going Raiders and Pats and Jets. I'm going Jets. I think Jets. Cletus is still having nightmares about that quarterback falling short at the 1 yard line, and then the two stops after that on them Jacksonville losses, and then what happened to him that week when the Patriots lost, when the Patriots beat him bad. He's been winning games ever since, blowing people out. I don't think that changes. This is the game he's been waiting for. This is his Rocky moment for him this season, and I'm going Jets. However, if the Pats can beat the Redskins this week, Pats beat the Redskins this week, Cletus, you might not beat him. You know what I'm saying? Good to my guy. Listen, if he beats the Redskins this week, Strawn is the real deal. He's the real deal if he beats the Redskins this week. And then, I'm picking you to win, but even I'm going to have my eyebrows where it's like, oh, shit, something's up in New England. He really might do something if he beats the Redskins this week. I mean, he's been dominating the AFC, but if he also beats one of the top NFC teams, it's hard not to take him as serious as his record is. And those are my picks for week 13. I know that's definitely the game to watch. The game today is definitely the Pats and the Pats and the Redskins. Oh man, this on the box is this on the box for me is different again because I'm so locked in on trying to win. I'm so focused on trying to win. I try to get Pie on here. I think he's all barking. He's all bark. Nobody. He didn't show up. That's why I titled this episode, "Who is the Big Cheese?" And then please tell me that. Who you guys honestly feel? Who do you guys see lining up in the Super Bowl on the NFC side and the AFC side? For me personally, I'm thinking it has to be either Jags, Raiders, or Pats. I'm thinking based the way the things play out, I'm going to go with the Raiders in the bowl. I think that somehow that the Jags and the Pats will end up meeting each other, and the Raiders will get that easier road to the Super Bowl. Not easier, but I think it'll just work out in his favor lineup-wise, and I think he'll somehow overcome them teams. NFC side, it's going to be myself or – sorry, guys. Hold on a second. Hold on. Yeah, so sorry about that. As I take the business call. NFC side of the ball, I'm going to have to go Redskins or myself. Pie, I'm not picking you, bro. Not doing it. Earn that spot. I'm not picking you to do that at all. I don't see you making it. Only because you collapse. You collapse. You stop yourself from going to Super Bowl. You always done it. I don't see that changing. You've been definitely consistent. You've been definitely consistent on doing that. Choking, as the Chargers like to say. But you're still a good, solid player, bro. There's no shots at you. I don't want to seem like I'm picking you on this episode. A little bit I am because you were talking slipping the track. But overall, you have been playing very good. I see Tyreek Hill number 2 in receiving. I watched your last game. You have a ton of speed on the field. Myself and Doc spoke on that. And how does a person like myself, Will, Boom, how do we counteract that speed? And speed with speed. Where Tyreek Hill is 96, 97 speed. I have a cornerback that is also that. So I would expect that, expect somebody to run with him stride for stride. Where your running back has 90-something speed, where my linebackers all have a high 80 speed. And I think it's just again, it comes down to scheme and then user skills. And I'm just speaking from myself, from as the Falcons owner, not even as the overall analyst for the owners box. I'm just speaking head up matchup, and how I look forward to moving forward in the playoffs. It's that same conversation if I had to play Will. Stop the deep ball, put my speedy receiver, my speedy cornerbacks against um, his fastest receivers, and when he throws the jump ball, make the play to go get it. I'm definitely comfortable with my user skills to where a person throws the deep ball, I have no problem jumping up and going to get the play myself. When I play a boom, how do you stop that? You crowd the box. You force him to pass the ball. You force Russell Wilson to throw. Because that's his strength is in his run and his offensive line. The Saints, I played him twice. It's a division game. As I'm coaching him, I still know where his weaknesses are. So that's what I would I would just use that to my advantage. And then Cressy to me has the best overall advantage because he hasn't been around and nobody really knows his game plan and his scheme and stuff like that yet. I think that's his advantage. So if you're definitely watching, keep that unknown working for you, Cressy. And again, bro, I think that statement that you made earlier this year when you first came back in the league is look at the little one playing hooky from school. There's definitely an advantage, man, and I see how you could possibly win the NFC North next year. And that all favor. Strong, keep playing your game. Raiders, keep playing your game. Jacksonville, me, you speak all the time. And you ask me how you get better. And then you get better by playing consistently how you've been playing and winning games you're supposed to win. And not supposed to win, but the games that we expect you to win based on like records and skill and things like that. Browns, again, a team that people kind of didn't know about you. And then, we didn't know what you were doing and things of that nature. It seems like that hype and that portion of your game has now became that riddle has now been answered and been figured out. How do you now turn it around in Cleveland? You can stay with your game plan and still figure it out. Still run it, which I would probably do, but do you kind of switch it up and things of that nature? Because again, right now you're on the bubble, and I know Chiefs wants that spot. Chargers is demanding respect on his name. So it'll be interesting to see how all of that pans out. I want to talk to you guys real quick. Let me jump over here on the PS4. I just want to see very quick. And I'll switch it over to my screen here. I want to talk about real quick these, if we can actually see it. Can we actually see it? Yes, we can see it. Let's go. Let me actually switch my screen over. And I want to go through these yearly awards very quick. And I just want to talk about some of these awards. All right, so we have live right here on the PlayStation 4. In the season we have for MVP, Fournette. He ran all over me. It's hard not to say he's not up there. He definitely ran all over me. I think that's a good observation. Jags have been playing great. Spears, he's been playing great. Deion Lewis is actually leading the league in running back rushing, so it'd be nice to see how he pans out. We have the Jets. Andrew Luck, I'm not voting. I would take Andrew Luck off of there. He has good numbers, but his play in the field has been horrible lately. Jeremy Hill, Earl Thomas, I think should be definitely Defensive Player of the Year. Rodgers, Darius Jackson, wow. He's been playing good though, but Ty's record, whew. He's doing it all. He's doing it all by himself. Then we have Wilkerson. So shout out to Packers. Have 2 people up on this list. 3 people actually. That's dope. I like that. Then we have Coach of the Year. Jets Coach of the Year. I guess maybe I would go Raiders Coach of the Year. Cleveland's. I only say that because this is your year. Year 3 is usually your year, and that's nothing spectacular to me. Surprising to me that the Raiders are 10-1. When I seen the Raiders barely didn't make the playoffs last season, now he's 10-1. I think that's dope. And I think Patch, in all honesty, him or the Saints should be Coach of the Year. They've turned their teams around tremendously. Let's look and see the AFC side of the ball. We have Jacksonville Jags player. Leonard, Fournette, number 1, Lewis 2, Hayden 3. That can go either way, and Hill 4. These 4 guys can swap at any time. Defensive player of the year, hands down, not even a question, Earl Thomas. Offensive rookie of the year, I mean, he just has like 10 rookies on his team, so one of them's going to win it. And then Hood, oh, okay, this guy. I tried to trade for this guy, and Brown Pass was like, nope. You know what I'm saying? So that's cool. And then Strong, I don't really know a lot of these guys over here on the AFC defensive side of the ball, but I find this interesting. The Browns quarterback. Early he had a good season. He was having a great season, but he's been throwing a lot of interceptions and things like that. My personal opinion, I will go with Carr. I think Carr has been playing phenomenal. I'm watching his games. His turnovers are down. I think Breeze has made a tremendous impact over there, and the Ravens. Dobbs for the Chargers is playing well. If Chargers keep his turnovers down and use his legs as well as his arm, I think he can win more games. But statistically, man, is saying that Kaiser is better. Fournette, hands down. I'm gonna go with Lewis. I think Lewis will squeak it out because he's winning the rushing thing, the rushing yards, and a couple more touchdowns. He'll probably win that easily. No surprise here that Brandon Cooks, even though Jets, Cletus uses this guy a lot, but the Pats offense runs through Brandon Cooks. Everything's through Brandon Cooks and Deion Lewis. Those two are definitely getting the ball all the time. So, offensive lineman. Look at the Raiders with all 3 offensive linemen. Nice. Defensive lineman, Clowney. I mean, I know that I played against them, Clowney, and anything other than that is wow. I'm shocked if he doesn't win it, or even Watts wins it. His defensive line is sick. Perryman, Earl Thomas, and the kickers, they are irrelevant. Kickers are irrelevant. Real quick on the NFC side of the ball, Packers, I can see that. These two right here, questionable right here. Walker's nice for the Redskins. He's been balling. Wilkerson, yep, and the Redskins, yeah. Deion Jones has been doing good for me. Wilkerson's been definitely doing good for him. I think he had some crazy number of tackles or sacks last game. He had some like crazy number of sacks in the game. So yeah, he's definitely making his mark. Will's user and Kendricks. So that's impressive to see him at number 2, knowing that he uses him the whole game. I'm impressed by Spears being a rookie. I didn't know he was a rookie. And then Perry Walker. But yeah, these 2 guys have definitely been dominating and made tremendous impacts on their teams. Those were highly two sleeper gems in the draft that these guys got, and they've been using them, and then they both panned out well for them. So shout out to them 2 guys. Taylor Johns is cool. Davy's been balling. He's got a couple sacks on me. So Saints, I think you should definitely get him more involved and take that number 1 spot. He should win that over the Johns guy. Best QB, Andrew Luck is better than Aaron Rodgers. There you go, Paya. Madden said it, not me. I'm gonna go number running backs. Yes, unless Will can have some good, crazy running games, then I think that Packers will win that. Julio Jones should win that, hands down. Offensive lineman, it's irrelevant. Defensive lineman, Aaron Donald. Aaron Donald. I mean, he has an overall to do it. He's the best overall. He should be up there. Linebackers, Kendricks. Beasley's been stepping up for me. Deion Jones too. I wonder if Campbell's in there. Nope. Kendricks again because Will's using this guy. I find that highly impressive. And then Jones. I mean, Paya. I mean, you're up here for a lot of different awards. So anything other than a Super Bowl for you, Super Bowl win, is a failure, brother. So we'll see. Again, we'll see how that pans out for you. I don't see you going. I've spoken to some people on behind the scenes, and they don't see you going in either. So we'll find. We'll see. We'll definitely see. All right, I'm back here. Oh man, I guess this was, to me, this was just a quick, what I wanted to call afternoon snack, man. Just a piece of cheese. Keeping it all play on words with the episode, this episode 8 of the Owner's Box. Again, you guys watching this, whoever the 10 plus users that was in here watching it, viewers, definitely tag Pi, man. Let's blow up his DMs, man, and ask him why he didn't show up and why he didn't address you guys, man. You know, you can't be scared all the time. Like, I'm gonna address it, talk your talk, you know, make your claim. The Jags did it. I've done it. Will's done it. Ty's done it. Some new owners done it. Dolphins done it. He's a new owner. I would like to get the Lions on here. I'd like to get the Bears on here. Cressy, you're more than welcome to come back. Cressy, I'm calling you whatever. I'd like to get you up here, Saints. You know what I'm saying? Kurt, let me get you up on here. The Bengals. Let's talk to some of these new owners, man. Find out how they feel about this competition level, because it's definitely different than playing online. Playing in this 32 owner league here. I'm interested to see what the Eagles do moving forward. Can he turn that team around? I think he's like in the top 5 draft picks, teams for draft picks. And I need to actually look at that real quick. I give my advice. I know Cletus wanted me to break down what teams need based on rosters and things like that. I know I broke down the last 5 teams the last time. Let's go with the Bucks, 49ers, Dolphins. Let's go Giants. I'll break down these 5 teams. Let's go Giants. Ty, if you're watching, you need a quarterback. I think you have everything else you need. You just need a quarterback. I know that you want to stay with the young guy, but we both know that we don't know what version of him is going to show up. He's gonna be the guy who can hit every throw. He's going to be the guy who's going to not hit the 5 and out or the drag route. Dolphins. I think you also need to address. No, I think we did the Dolphins because we did that because you had it. We had that conversation. Let's go with Let's go with the Broncos. I don't think I did Doc the last time. Let's go with the Broncos. We'll go with the Broncos. And what do they need to address? The Broncos are going to have a lot of holes losing their defensive vets. So I think that, you know, Von Miller's a huge shoes to fill. And I think Chris Harris Jr.'s are also as well. But those are the 2 immediate things you need to address because you have such good defense. Consistently, you know, you usually stop people well. You just be on the field too long, Doc. So if you can address those gaps in defense and then on offense, if you just open up your playbook, man, and stop playing so conservative all the time, you will win games, man. Those are what I think you guys need. 49ers, we'll do you. Wop's brother, we'll call him Little Wop or Wop Jr. Whopper Jr., we'll call him Wop Jr. You probably just need an overhaul. I haven't watched your games yet. From the sounds of it, you don't need no receivers. Maybe just a quarter. Man, I think you probably need to address the running back issue. I think some of the Niners still have some key pieces there, but I would try to figure out, depending on what type of team you are going to be. And then I know statistically, I think they need, rating-wise, they need a running back. Let's go with the Dolphins. No, I keep saying the Dolphins. I'm sorry, Detroit Lions. I know the Detroit needs a running back too. I would look to get a running back. That would be my first pick. And then possibly something on the defensive side, maybe the line, because you guys used to have a great defensive line. I think they still have a Dominic Suh too, so I would do that as well. You need that? No, okay. Yeah. And who else do we have? The Bengals. I don't know what the Bengals need, man. Bengals have a couple things. I would go cornerback with the Bengals, and I would probably go cornerback, and I would go receiver for the Bengals. Bears, I would go I think you got Matt Ryan for 2 years, so unless he doesn't retire, I would still probably get a backup quarterback. You need a backup because he gets hurt now, and he might retire. So I'll go quarterback, and you also need a receiver because you lost Kevin White this offseason. So those are the 5 teams I think I just did, right? Bengals, Giants, 49ers, and Broncos, yeah. So those would be my suggestions on the first 2 picks if each of you guys draft. Well, I'm going to go ahead and get up out of here. I've been running for almost an hour. Again, this was just a quick owner's box. I try to get Pi on here. I want to appreciate all you guys for definitely watching, tuning in, keeping the show going. Again, this is the time to stop talking, man, and make it happen in the league. these last 4 weeks will definitely be crucial. A team who was once in the playoffs or now could be out of the playoffs, or a team who's out of the playoffs can now be once in the playoffs. So a lot of the, since I did the reality check, a lot of the coaches who were, about to, who I thought were getting fired are winning games. So it's definitely been inspiring. A fire has been lit under me, knowing that Pius swears he's going to the Super Bowl. I know Will's now talking about it. Like he laughed about it. Me and him talked about it in the chat. He laughed like, "Yo, he barely beat me, and he lost to you already." So, we're now focused on it. We're not taking it anything lightly, because he's like really amped about it. I know Pat really wants to win. He's been watching game film. He's been watching tapes. He's been analyzing. He's been looking. He's putting that work in, man. He's turned it around. So anybody who's losing this season, definitely get with the Pats. Talk to him, ask him what he did to turn his team around. He was willing to sacrifice some pieces, some draft picks and things like that to get the players that he needed. Even if they're older guys, he needed them pieces, and them pieces worked. They still came in even at 30+ years old, and they're still making moves. I understand that, man. Some of these old guys, they still have good ratings. Even if their speed and their stuff goes down, they still can be used well. And also keep in mind the threshold for like speed and things like that. A guy who's 29, who's about to be 30, but still has 90 speed, doesn't lose his speed. He stays at 90. That's huge. That's huge. Where you think you need to go younger, he can still stay in that position. He can keep the higher awareness, so you don't have to worry about a guy with low awareness, low play rec to come in and take his spot. You worry about building. When you're in trying to win, you're in a position to trying to put your team to win right now. Those are my, I think some tips that can help you guys move forward going towards the off season. Looking at the draft, I think this draft is kind of weak in certain positions. It'd be interesting to see how free agency pays out. I know for my team as well, I got some players that I might not be able to sign that are super valuable to me. So I might need to reconsider and make some moves myself. And I know some other teams who are also in some cap trouble. I'm not over the cap. It's just I just can't afford them numbers that they're asking me for. So again, man, it'd be very cool to see how this rest of the season plays out, and definitely how the off season plays out. I wish all you owners the best of luck. I'm about to actually jump on the lab myself, work on some new things. I'm working on a new playbook that I can bring out next season in the league, just to bring some refreshment, something new, and cause some havoc, see if it works. And involve some more players on my offense to give it a go. I'm gonna do the next episode. The next episode will be episode 9. I need a guest for that, so please hit me up. Let me know who wants to be the next guest on that. We'll break down the 2 games of the weeks, this week and next week, as they're both very good games. And that's pretty much it, man. Thank you guys for tuning in. Smart Gate signing off, man. Another Owner's Box. I appreciate you guys. Peace.